February 25th, 2012, the season opening race at Daytona for the NASCAR Nationwide Series is about to begin. With 82,000 fans in attendance, Danica Patrick was leading the field to the green flag. The race was underway with Dale Earnhardt Jr. giving his driver a push. With a field consisting of 21 current or former Cup Series drivers, it was really easy to forget James Buescher. This was only his 35th career Busch Series start, but at the time he was viewed as one of the brightest prospects in NASCAR. Entering the season, he was set to run a part-time schedule for Turner Motorsports, all while competing for the championship in the NASCAR Truck Series. In the years leading up to this race, James Buescher was making a name for himself. He showed enough talent in late models and ASA to warrant an opportunity in the ARCA Series beginning in 2007. Although it was on a part-time basis, he would make history, becoming the youngest ARCA Series winner at the time. He also found early success at Daytona, winning the season opener in 2009. But he was on to bigger and better things, because in 2008, he would sign with Braun Racing. They were a pretty good team in the Nationwide Series, and noticing that Buescher was on a lot of other teams' radars, they didn't want to waste any time. In the final race at Memphis, he scored his first career pole and led 24 laps, becoming the youngest ARCA winner at 16, and then scoring your first Nationwide Series pole at 18. It was safe to say he was off to a great start, but he wasn't ready to run full-time just yet. Well, at least in the Nationwide Series. The Truck Series was a much different story. Buescher's rookie season was spent driving for Tom Mitchell, where he scored only 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s, but it's safe to say this truck was certainly not one of the best the series had to offer. Buescher found a better team for the 2010 season and beyond, a return to Turner Motorsports. Wait, what do you mean a return? Well, Turner Motorsports bought out what used to be Braun Racing. It was on a part-time basis, but he put together a way better stat line. 6 top 5s and 10 top 10s with an average finish of 11th. He continued to run in the Nationwide Series, but this time driving for James Finch, he found little success. When he finally drove for Turner Motorsports in the series, he ended up scoring a pole at Texas, but crashed before lap 5. 2011 would be his breakout year. In the Truck Series running full-time, he put together his best season up to that point, finishing 3rd in points after putting together 10 top 5s, 19 top 10s, and an average finish of 9th. All despite not winning and even missing a race. Considering he lost the championship by 29 points, that is extremely painful. But still a great season. In the Nationwide Series, he was finally building some momentum. 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s in his 11 starts, with his best race being at IRP. That would be his best finish in NASCAR until now. But based on the title, you're like, how is this even possible? By lap 5, James Buescher had made it all the way up to 5th place, but that would be the highest he would be for a long time. For most of the race, Buescher ran not only outside of the top 10, but outside of the top 20 even. He got very little TV time, as by the halfway point, he was running in 28th. However, there was only 5 cautions in the first 100 laps, and this was during the 2-car tandem era. So during long green flag runs, super speedway races would get pretty spread out. What started turning the race upside down was the final 15 laps.
Trouble off turn 4, a dozen cars involved, caution is out.
I believe it starts right here. Watch Trevor Bayne may have to jump out of the throttle and get sideways here. A lot of times, June, you have to jump out to keep them running over that car in front of you. Your car will just jump for about a half a lane.
I'm telling you, Reed Sorensen was completely underneath Justin Allgaier's car.
And just like that, his opportunity to pull off one of the biggest upsets in NASCAR history could have been ruined. The contact forced a chain reaction wreck behind him, but this was only the beginning.
Slams the inside wall.
If Buescher is just 1 mile per hour slower, he gets completely right hooked by David Reagan. With a big one partly caused and another missed by him, James Buescher was sitting inside the top 10 on what would be the final race restart. Immediately entering turn 1, the Busch brothers get hooked up, and the rest of the field tries to do the same. On the backstretch, the top 6 get hooked up, all while Buescher hasn't done so yet. Coming off of turn 4, he still hadn't done it, and amongst the top 15 entering the final lap, 12 were hooked up, going for the win.
The last lap is underway. Who gets back first if there's no accident?
I think they're going to have a hard time, even though Logano has a big run, getting back for Kyle Busch right here.
I don't know. Looks like they might have a run. They do.
Back down, come back down, come back down.
Cut the other way. Half a lap to go. Here comes Stewart in the 33 as Logano goes to the point. 3 wide in turn 4. A squeeze to the outside wall. Trouble in the corner. Hard, vicious crash. Who gets through to win the race? Caution flag has just been called. The race leader is James Buescher in the 30 car.
Unbelievable.
What the fuck just happened? Well, let me explain. Turns out most of the field was just saving what they had left for the final 2 corners. Rather than linking up and going all out immediately, they waited until coming off of turn 2. The momentum brought them towards the front. Now the top 4 needed to defend. A 3 wide, 2 deep battle involving both the Busch brothers, Tony Stewart, Trevor Bayne, Joey Logano, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. turned into a melee when Kurt Busch squeezed 4 cars to the top, which then gets clipped by Bayne, then Busch clips Logano. Then when you think those bottom 5 are gonna avoid it, Stenhouse right hooks Kyle Busch, leaving those other 3 cars with nowhere else to go, all while James Buescher is lurking in the back. But it's not over yet. He slows down all the way to the bottom, even going below the double yellow line, avoiding getting right hooked by not just 1, but 2 cars involved. Buescher gets back on the track and coasts to victory, from 11th to 1st in 1 turn. Not only one of the biggest upsets, but perhaps the most unbelievable win in NASCAR history. He ran mid-pack pretty much the entire race, and even in the final laps, he was only in the top 10 for a brief moment. What a way to get your first career Nationwide Series victory, but it turned out to be his only one. While he's regarded as a one-hit wonder, I think otherwise. While it's his only Nationwide Series victory, I think it helped propel him to a Truck Series championship that year. They already had a great program, but extra confidence goes a long way. They won the 2012 championship with 4 wins, 10 top 5s, 14 top 10s, and an average finish of 9th, while in 2013 still maintaining a top 3 points finish with 2 wins and 14 top 10s. In his part-time runs in Nationwide from 2012 to 2013, he scored a win, 3 top 5s, 9 top 10s, and had an average finish around 12th. But all of the momentum he had picked up was gone in an instant. After 2013, he left Turner Motorsports for Rab Racing, where he only scored 2 top 10s in his only full-time season with the team. After 2014, Turner Motorsports had shut down, meaning the 31 now belonged to Bob Newberry. Buescher returned to the Truck Series, and after 3 races was sitting 5th in points, but dropped out the rest of the year due to lack of funding. His last start in NASCAR was in 2021 at Daytona, where he didn't even make a full lap. Today, James Buescher is not only a real estate agent, but a family man. He ended up marrying his car owner's daughter, so his time at Turner Motorsports was very impactful in more ways than just racing. And in case you were wondering the entire time, yes, they are related. Chris Buescher is his cousin. But if you asked me around 2014, I would have said by now, both of the Bueschers would be competing for wins and championships. Sadly for James, it never came to be in the Cup Series, but he's still a NASCAR champion. He had a short window in the sport, but was still very successful. But for most fans, a championship can't quite top what he did on that fateful day, putting together an unforgettable victory from 11th to 1st in 1 turn. And once again, that'll do it for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.